Ayo, go. Right now, under the side. Thank you. Anyway, sit on there. Continue. Sooner or later, Mr. Chair, I may be needing the legislating ground that we're talking about here. But it fears me a lot when the government side laid down the arguments mostly on how companies make money, on how companies can actually benefit out from this particular motion. We believe that the motion actually calls for the convenience of the society, the convenience from which even those people who are not capable of buying very expensive medicine can actually avail this particular product. And we believe that the motion does not really call for the availability or the easy accessibility of this particular medicine, but rather the effectiveness of this particular medicine, especially in third world countries, from which we highly regard on the imports from other countries, especially now that medical outsourcing is very rampant, Mr. Chair and members of this House. We believe that accessibility will not be, we believe that accessibility from imports is not actually an absolute evil, which this side of the House tells us. What is evil, therefore, is when the medicine we avail is ineffective and the medicine we import from other countries is very ineffective. Now, what does that, how does that affect, or how does that connect to the motion? We believe that if ever we will remove the patents, Mr. Chair, from these very expensive medicines, there are possibilities of exploits. Why is that? Our extension is very simple. We believe that this debate, that the extension of the government in this debate should be like this: to discuss the issue not of availability or the easy accessibility, but we'll discuss to you how this removal harms the efficacy of the medicine, especially from the world, from the society that is very opportunistic in nature, Mr. Chair and members of this House, and how this removal actually defeats the very purpose of this particular medicine. We believe that it actually loses the incentives. Now, I told you earlier in this POI that it doesn't necessarily mean that if we will remove the patent, we will remove all the incentives. We disagree because it totally disregards the incentives of the companies. Why is that so? Pharmaceutical companies are a business, as what our opening said. And how they make money highly depends on the establishment of their company and then of the quality of their products. Now, our extension to that is simple. We believe that they actually lose the protection of their product. Why is that so? Basically, Mr. Chair, the products can be subjected to piracy. That products can be subjected to replication. In one way or another, since technology is evolving, Mr. Chair, products can be easily manipulated, and the efficacy of life-sustaining product, Mr. Chair, is well disregarded. Now, the very danger of that, we are defeating the purpose of life-sustaining drugs. Even though we import, Mr. Chair, the possibility of exploitation is still present because they lose the economic balance, as what the opening opposition told you. We believe that this balance actually results to the withdrawal of investment, most particularly in third world countries. Because apparently, Mr. Chair, the extension of the closing opposition is this: if they will withdraw their investment, basically we will have a hard time looking for life-sustaining drugs. What is worse now, Mr. Chair, is when people resort to medical outsourcing. The very danger of that, Mr. Chair, is this: since both of the houses conceded that life-sustaining drugs is so expensive that only rich people can avail it, they fail to actually argue what will be the what will be the effect, the benefits, Mr. Chair, if ever we will remove the patent. Does it necessarily mean that even poor people who want to sustain their life can avail this? The government failed to discuss that. That's why we believe that maintaining the patents, the name, Mr. Chair, of these life-sustaining drugs can actually benefit also the poor. Why is that so? Because the government has the full regulatory process. I'm not rehashing, Mr. Chair. The opening opposition failed to discuss, the details when it comes to this particular issue. We believe that the closing opposition discussed it better. Why so? Because apparently, medical outsourcing will result to this. It will be harder for us to avail this. Now, the closing government told us that it will be a lot easier if you will, it will be a lot easier to avail the life-sustaining drugs if we will remove the patents. But we believe that it will be harder, Mr. Chair, especially when countries like Philippines, Cuba, who have a hard time, when it comes to research, when it comes to medical researches, Mr. Chair, to avail these products, because they need to outsource the procedure. This necessarily means that, that the research will be done outside this, the country, Mr. Chair. This necessarily suggests that it will be more expensive. It will not help the society as a whole. Yes, Andrew.
Piracy, Mr. Chair, is another thing. It's a thing different from giving a fair opportunity at manufacturing these products. If security and effectiveness is the issue, Mr. Chair, we believe that the government, the BFAD, can regulate that.
It's not necessarily true, Mr. Chair, because whenever we will remove the patent, the government has no longer have the full supervision of this. Why is that so? Because the government no longer have the regulatory power, which is companies. Because since these companies withdraw their investment, Mr. Chair, they will now go to other countries, just like what the opening told you. They go to other countries, manufacture there, and import us the medicine. Now, question, does the government has the full regulatory power over these particular imported products? We say that no, because the countries who manufacture this product has the regulation of such. If ever we will import these medical products, Mr. Chair, this necessarily suggests that the government do not have the supervision of power. Check your corporate power here, 102. Second, Mr. Chair, how companies sell the drugs to other countries. It actually affects the third world countries, Mr. Chair. How is that so? Since we already rely on import, security is in great danger. Because third world countries no longer have the power to regulate these drugs. Especially, for example, Philippines, Mr. Chair. First world countries who manufacture quality life-sustaining drugs no longer invest and sell in third world countries. This will result to an oblivious implication, Mr. Chair, in University South. Again, the extension of the closing opposition is this. We believe that it actually harms the companies, resulting to medical outsourcing, giving no convenience to the society, and apparently third world countries will suffer. Thank you.
First of all, for 7 minutes.